Welcome children. Today we are going to learn a new poem from our English reader, and the name of the poem is The Naughty Boy. It is written by a well-known poet, John Keats, and it tells us about a young boy who was naughty. As you know, the word naughty itself means mischievous and disobedient, right? And this young boy, this naughty boy, wanted to know more about a neighboring country, Scotland. He is coming from England, he is an English boy, but he wanted to know how Scotland is, how the people of Scotland were, and how were the matters in Scotland. And so he sets out on his journey. So the poet John Keats describes about a naughty boy. And this naughty boy ran away to Scotland. He wanted to see the development of the people. He wanted to know about the people, places, things and fruits of Scotland. But there he found the same hard ground, the same long yard, the same merry song, the same red cherry, the same weighty lead. He learned that things are exactly similar everywhere. So, as you know, this naughty boy is from England and he wanted to know more about the neighboring country. He felt that things would be really different, people would be different, and what they eat, the fruits, everything would be totally different. But then when he went there, he understood that Scotland was exactly similar to his hometown, his homeland, England. Right? So that is what he discovered, and he was pretty much surprised to see that more or less most of the things were similar. Right? So turn to page 151 and let us recite the poem. Okay, children. There was a naughty boy, and a naughty boy was he. He ran away to Scotland, the people there to see. Then he found that the ground was as hard, that a yard was as long, that a song was as merry, that a cherry was as red, that lead was as weighty, that fourscore was as 80, that a door was wooden as in England. So he stood in his shoes and he wondered. He stood in his shoes and he wondered. So the boy was pleased and surprised to know that the things were similar, right? So what did he see first? He was a naughty boy, as all of us know, and a naughty boy was he. He ran away to Scotland, the people there to see. He wanted to see the people of Scotland. Then he found that the ground was as hard, that a yard was as long, that a song was as merry. So he found out that the ground was the same even in Scotland and England, right? And the yard was as long as it is in England, the similar things he found out in Scotland. And he found out that a song was as merry. He found out that certain songs were as cheerful. The meaning of the word merry is cheerful. He found out that a song was as cheerful and merry, the same way it was in England, the similar way he found it to be in Scotland. That a cherry was as red, so the color of the cherry was also similar in the two places, and that lead was as weighty. So he found that the metal lead was the same even in Scotland and England. Of course, it's a metal, right children? Lead is a metal and it's the same everywhere. There is no difference between the lead that you find in England and the lead that you find in Scotland. It was as weighty. The weight of lead is the same everywhere. That a fourscore was as 80. So he understood that a fourscore means 80. 4 times 20, that would be 80. It's a cardinal number 80. It's the same in England and Scotland. It's the same everywhere. And he found out that a door was as wooden as in England. Obviously, wood is the same everywhere, right? There is no difference in the way wood looks. Wood is similar everywhere. It looks similar. So he found out that the wood that they use in England is the same as they use in Scotland. And then he wondered. It means he was surprised a little pleased also, and he stood in his shoes and he wondered. He wondered. He stood in his shoes and he wondered. So basically, as a young boy, he was very curious. He was very curious to know about new places, how things would be there, how people behaved there, and what were the developments that was taking place. He felt that it was totally different from his homeland, as I told you earlier. As children, all of us are very curious. Even as adults, some of us really want to know about different cultures, different people, about distant lands, about different practices that are taking place. But then, on a certain level, certain things are similar everywhere. That is a lesson that this boy learned, this naughty boy. He was a curious boy, a normal boy, but who was a little naughty. And from his homeland, England, he went off to Scotland to know how the place would be. And then he was pleased to know that both the places are a lot similar. Both the countries are similar. Right? So let us recite this once again. There was a naughty boy, and a naughty boy was he. He ran away to Scotland, the people there to see. He found that the ground was as hard, that a yard was as long, that a song was as merry, that a cherry was as red, that lead was as weighty, that fourscore was as 80, that a door was as wooden as in England. So he stood in his shoes, and he wondered, he wondered. He stood in his shoes and he wondered. Now this is a very, a sweet little poem. It tells you about how small children and their minds are. Small kids have a curious mind, right? And this boy is also a little naughty, so he wanted to explore his environment. And he wanted to know more about another neighboring country, right? I hope you enjoyed it. Now let us see about the new words in this. We all know the meaning of the word naughty. Naughty means mischievous or disobedient. And here found, he found means having discovered by chance or unexpectedly. Now what did this naughty boy find? He found that England and Scotland were similar. These are two sister countries, but they are very much similar in everything. So that is what he found. So meaning of the word found, having discovered by chance or unexpectedly. Now ground, as you know, the earth, the ground, solid surface of the earth. Merry, cheerful, lively. A song is supposed to be very merry, cheerful and lively, right? Then weighty means heavy. It is said that lead, the weight of lead is the same everywhere, whether it's England or Scotland. So these are the certain new words that I mentioned here. And children, I hope you understood. It is a lovely poem. A small poem basically describing the mind of a small boy who was a little naughty and who had a curious mind to explore. It is written by the famous poet John Keats. I want you to recite the poem, to go through it and enjoy it. We'll meet again in the next class, children. Thank you.